Configuring folder redirection, software installation, and also scripts. First, what is folder redirection? This folder redirection allows the folders to be located on a network server but appear as if they are located on the local drive. And folders that can be redirected in Windows Vista or later are these folders. The folders which is, we can say, it is the app data folder, we have desktop folder, start menu, document, pictures, music, videos, favorite, contact, download, links, searches, and saved games. Now this one is important, like some users used to save files on desktop or document, and when they log into one machine, they save files on the desktop or document, and they move on to log into other machine, and they want to get the same files, same document which they saved on the desktop or document, they want to get the same files on the other machines also. Now it is not possible because every time when the user logs into some machine, some client machine, it creates the local profile, and in the local profile it has desktop, document, start menu, and all these folders. So whatever they create on desktop, document, store the pictures, music or videos on these folders, they will remain in the local system. So when they log into the other machine, they will not get these things on the other system. So what we can do, we can create the folder redirection. We can configure the folder redirection that will do what? That will save these folders, these specific folders on the share location. So when the user logs into any other system, they will get the same folder. Now for configuring, setting or for configuring the folder redirection, we can use the basic folder redirection when all users save their files to the same location. That means all the users will save the file into the same location. And in this, use the advanced folder redirection when the server hosting the folder location is based on the group membership. We can use the advanced folder redirection where the server that is hosting the folder location is based on the group membership, and then we can use the document folder to force certain folders to become subfolders of document. Like where we have these accounting users, in that we have accounts AM, account NZ. We are creating subfolder into accounting folders. Then we can create these accounting managers, and under that different users are storing the folders, their folder redirection is storing into the same location, and this is what subfolders. Now target folder location options we have that create a folder for each user under the root path. That means this will be the root path, accounting manager, and under that we have the different users folders like ME, NE. Redirect to the following location. We can redirect to the local user profile location. We can redirect to the user's home directory, that is document folder only. Now the security settings for redirected folders. When we redirect the folder to a centralized location, so we have to make sure the security configuration will be proper, so that other users, each user will not be able to see the folders of other users, because we are going to share these folders, so they will keep into the shared location, so anyone can access the share folder. So we have to make sure the share folder has a proper permissions. That means first NTFS permission for the root folder where all the users folders are going to be created. Now in that, administrator should not have any permissions, because administrator is not the owner of the company, it is not the CEO of the company. So administrator is just an administrator here, which is responsible for all those things, because remember, on those share folders, these CEO or these owner or important persons, they do what? They save the important files. So maybe they don't want administrator, the network administrator, the system administrator to see those files. Then security group users that save data on that share. So whatever the users group, they are going to create their data there, they are going to save the data. What they should have permission, they should have list or read permission. They should have to create the folder and append the data on this folder only. Now this folder only, that means they should only able to create under this folder. Then local system should have full control. This is the local system account, it is a service account, and in the service account should have the full control, because remember, we have removed the permission for the administrator. So if the administrator does not have permission, then you will not when you log in as an administrator, you will not be able to do anything. But when the local system account is having the permission, so basically the administrator will get the permission through this local system account. Then if in case if it is wanted to get, then share permission for the root folder. This is the local permission, local NTFS permission. Then the share permission for the root folder will be like creator, owner, security group of users that save data on the share, that is going to be save the data. They should have the full control. Then NTFS permission for each user's redirected folder. So when the user's folder is redirected to that location, so username, that means the username folder will be created there with this tag, and that username folder should have full control and owner of the folder. Again, administrators does not have any right and local system have full control. That means this is the root folder and these are the folders for the user account. So the users will have a full control on these subfolders. Now, how we can configure this? So first we should create a root folder which is going to be saved, which is going to save all the share folders of the users. So first configure the root folder, share the folder and share it from the file server or the server which is hosting these share folders for the users. So first create the root folder. Now this is our server, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a share folder here on the server so that users can store their share data here. So I will go to C drive, I will create one folder here. Redirect it. Okay, name it as something meaningful. Okay, now what, we'll share it according to what we have decided, like what should be the permission for the security permissions and what should be the permission for sharing. So for right now, I'm for the testing purpose, what I will do, I will give full control to everyone. That is should not be done. It should give the permission to the proper user or group. Okay, so I'll give this permission to everyone. Now what? I'll go to group policy management. Now under the group policy management, we will configure the group policy for the users which is going to be share their folder, which is going to be redirect the folder. Now if we want to redirect from the domain, the whole domain users, so we can configure or edit this domain default domain policy, or we want to configure only for some specific users, so we can go on to configure the group policy for the specific OU. Like this OU has this group policy configured, so I want to only redirect the folders for these users. So I will do what? I will configure the redirection for this policy, or I want to configure it for everyone. Everyone, that means every user in the domain. So I will go on to configure the default domain policy. Another policy, we will go to computer configuration, policies, Windows settings. Oops. It is not under computer configuration, it is actually user configuration, sorry. Under the Windows settings, we have folder redirection. It is not related to computer configuration, the setting is related to user because we are redirecting the folder for the user. So we select this folder redirection from here. Now when we select the folder redirection, so we see all these folders here that which we can redirect. So we can redirect all these folders, and it is only work when you are having latest operating system, that means after Windows 7. So after Windows 7 it supports all these folders. Before Windows 7 actually these folders, some of the folders were not there. In old versions of Windows some of the folders were not there, but now we have these folders here, so they also support these folders. Now I want to redirect this document folder. Document folder is mostly important because users store their document here, and sometimes they download the document, so also it goes on to directly this by default document directory. So download directory, and but download directory maybe have a lots of data, but important files are comes into the documents. So what I will do, I will right click on it and go to the properties. By default it is not configured, so we go on to select configured here. We can go for advanced configuration, we can go for basic. Now basic means redirect everyone's folder to the same location. It is going to redirect to the same location, and in advanced it is specify the location for various users group. That means we can specify the different groups, various location, where we have for example, suppose we have the different users, different shares available from different file servers, so we can select this. But right now we have a single folder selected, so we can go with this basic one, redirect the everyone's folders to the same location. Then create a folder for each user under the root path. We have created the root directory, so under the root directory it is going to create a separate folder for separate users, where it is going to store the files of the document directory. Or we can select other options like redirect to the user's home directory. It is redirect the data to the user's home directory. Or we can select redirect to the following location, and we can select the location where it is going to redirect. We can select the redirect to the local user's profile location. It is already in the local user's profile, but we can still use profile, we can redirect to the profile of the user's local profile. Now what I am going to select, I am going to select create a folder for each user under the root path. Now we have to select the root path here, so you will browse the root path. Now here you have an important thing. Remember the folder which we created here, it is under C drive, and under the C drive this is the folder, but I should not select it from here, because we have shared the folder, and only the users will only access the share folder. This is not, this is, if you select like this, it will be like the local path. So it is not a local path, we should not create like a local path. We have to give the share path. So the path you will give like this, you will give the server name where the folder you created, and then you will select the folder. So this is how you give the path. That means you have to give the share path, you cannot give the local path here, otherwise user will not be able to access it. So this is the share path. Under the server one we have this share directory where we want to store all the users folders. So okay, it says if your group policy setting related to folder redirection that do not apply to Windows 2000 or 2000 server, Windows XP or Windows Server 2003, you will not be able to change any folder redirection settings in the group policy object from those operating system. Do you want to continue? So it is giving the message about the old operating systems, that if it is the case that you can't change it from there. So I'll say okay, yes. And now we have configured this, so we will close this one. We have configured it for the whole domain. Now we can check it from the client side, so we'll go on to Windows 10 machine. So this is our Windows 10 machine. First we have to apply the policy. We have to refresh the policy because the machine is already logged in. Remember, the policies will refresh after logout or before logout. If we want to refresh the policies, so we will give the command gp update, and I want to do it forcefully. So it is going to refresh the policies, whatever the latest policies are there, it is going to apply. Now what it is saying here, it is saying there is a policy which is configured which needs to be log out and re-logging, and that is the group that is the folder redirection policy. So it is saying that okay, you want to log out or not. So I say yes, I want to log out, otherwise the policy will not be applied. Now I configured the policy for the whole domain, so it is going to apply on the user administrator also. So let's check. Now we'll go to, and when we see the document folder, we can see this syncing icon here. That means it is now syncing with the shared location. So when we try to see the properties of this folder document, now we see that it is showing the shared location. It is showing that it is going to be stored into this server 1 and the folder name is redire, and under that it is creating the folder for this user account. So now the folder for this document folder is now shared and it is stored into the shared location, a single location. That means whatever the user put into this directory here, under this machine, this client machine, so it will get these files everywhere in the domain. That means wherever this user logged in, it will get the same file, because it is what it is sharing, it is storing the data into the shared folder. And you can see it look like a local folder. It is not looking like it is a sharing folder. It is accessible like a local folder. Only this icon, it shows that it is syncing, it is online or not online. You can see the status, it is online or not online. So when the folder is connected to the share folder, it will show you online, and if it is not connected, then it will show you offline. But whenever it is connected, it will store the data on that folder. But it looks like just other folders like desktop, downloads and document. It shows like it is a local folder, but everything which is storing here, it is actually storing onto the shared location. So this is how we do the folder redirection. Now the next thing is managing software with group policy. Managing software, that means we can distribute the software from the server through the group policy. So there is an option where we can share the softwares through the group policy. We can assign the softwares during the computer configuration. We have one option that we can assign the softwares during the configurations. Then we can software distribution. We can do the software distribution share. We can configure the software distribution share. We can share the softwares through it. We can assign software during the user configuration. We can publish the software by using the add or remove programs. Then we can publish the software by using the extension activation. These are all options we have when we do the software, when we deploy the software from the group policy. Now we can only deploy the softwares which is .msi files. It will not allow you to deploy the softwares which is .exe. And under the group policy, we have option for that. So under the group policy, that means when you edit the group policy for some OU or for the whole domain, under the computer configurations, we have the software policy. It will be based on the computer configurations. That means it is going to apply on the computers, or we can apply the policy based on the user configurations. That means users will get the software when they log into the particular system. You right click on it, we can select the new package we want to deploy. Now here you have to select the .msi file. If you see here, it is selecting the MSI file. It is selecting Windows installer package. It is also using, it can also support the ZAP files, but it is basically used for the MSI file. If I have an exe file, then it is not going to select it. So you have to select the MSI file. Now I have one under this document, and it is showing it is MSI. So when I select, it says cannot verify the path is a network location, and if this package is not available from the network share, the client will not be able to install it. Are you sure you want to? So when you have a packages, you have to store it into the share location. Remember, just like the folder redirection, you have to select the share path. Under the folder redirection also, when you select the local path, it will not allow you. I will say no, because you need to have it on the share location. So this is not the share location where I have this file. So what I will do here, I will create one directory and I will share it so that everyone can get the access. And also we have to select the path which is share path. Now I will put the folder here. Now the file is under the share path. So when you select the path, you have to select the share path. Now share path means the name of the server and then the name of the directory, and under that we have this file. So we selected this from the share path, server name, 2 slashes backslash server name slash the directory name, and this is the file. Then you have option to select what, published, and select this option to publish the application without modification. You can select assign this application without modification. You can select the assign mode, or you can go for advanced. Advanced, that means this option will configure the publish or assign options and apply to modification to package. That means either you select publish or assign, or you can select advanced. That means it is after deploying, it is going to be give you the property where you can select publish or assign. Let's say I will go for publish first. Now when you click OK, and now we can see the software is now published, deployed as a publish from this share folder. You can check, you can auto install. It is actually selected auto install. That means when the user logged in, it can install automatically. We can select assign also. We can go to properties. We can see the property of this software. We can change the deployment type, publish to assign. Assign, then it is saying auto install the publication, the application by file extension activation. We can select uninstall this application also. When it falls out of the scope of management, we can select do not display the package in the add and remove program, so it will not be displayed there. And we can installation user interface option also we can select. We can also have, when we have upgrades, so we can deploy the upgrades also. We can check the categories, modification, and security options. Security options related to which user can do what. Users, all the authenticated users can read, and they have these special permissions. So we have deployed the software, and it is going to be available on all the client sites. And we have changed the policy. We have added the policy this. So we have added this into this Mumbai users policy. So all those Mumbai users will get the software. So first on Windows 10, we should refresh the policies. Again it is saying you have to re-log in, so I'll say yes. Now I log in as a different user here, user 1.
Hey.
Okay, I will do what? I will try to update the policy here also. And again it is saying log out, so I will log out and log in again. Now this is because of that folder redirection policy. Whenever you update, it will always say, I always tell you to re-log in. It will automatically update. We don't have to do this GP update every time. Okay, now so when you go to control panel, and programs, and under the programs we see option here, install a program from the network, and when you select this, you will see this option. This is shared from the network, this is shared from the server, it is deployed from the server, and here when you select, you will get the option to install. Now this is what, this is published, that means the software is published, but you have to install it from the client side. But when you choose assign, so you don't have to install it, it is automatically show under here, it will show up here directly, and it looks like the software, it actually install the software directly. It is you don't have to install it, it will do what, it will install the software automatically for the user, the users which we have published the software, we have assigned the software. So publish, you have to install it from the control panel, and assign, you will do what, you will it will install the software automatically for the user. So it is installing, it will take time, and it will take time, but it will install the software. So this is how we do what, we deploy the software from the group policy. So we can deploy the softwares, but only .msi files. Now the next thing is, and as we saw, it is available for install now. You can just go on to follow the procedure, the steps, and it is going to be installed the software. Now the next is what, the group policy setting for applying the scripts. Scripts, that means we can create the VB scripts, J script, and also we can use the PowerShell script, or the bash files, the command scripts also. These we can use for the log on or log out or shut down or restart system. Like you can use a script to perform many tasks such as clearing page file, mapping drives, and clearing temp folders for users, or many other things. And then scripts language include the VB script, JavaScript, Windows PowerShell, and command batch files. And we can assign, you can assign the group policy script setting to assign for computer, we can assign for startup and shutdown. That means whenever the system starts, you want to run some script, or you want to run the script when the system shutdowns. So we can put it on there, and it will run that script every time when the system starts or shut down. For users, we can run the script for log on or log off. That means whenever the user log on, it will run the script, and whenever the user log off, it is going to run that script. And through the scripts, we can do many other things, many more things. So first we have to create the script, and then we can deploy the script through the group policy. Let's say, for example, I am creating this script. It is going to run, this is a VB script, and it is going to run only the message. It is going to display the message on the user's desktop when the user log on. So what I am going to do, I am going to create this in the notepad and save it as a VBS. VBS, that means it is a VB script. And the software was installing, and now it is installed also. We can get the software from here. It is put. This is what we have installed here. So first I will open the notepad, and on the notepad I'm going to add a message, a command, msg box. It's a VB script command to display the messages, and I will say this is uh, script test. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to save the file as a VB script, and I'm going to save it on desktop. So I will say this is my logon script, and as a all file I will give the extension .vbs. Now if you know the scripting, if you know the whole scripting, then you can do what, you can use whatever the script you want. You can design the whole script to do the particular thing. I'm just displaying the message here. Now what I will do, first I will copy the path, I will copy this here, and it will remain in the clipboard. So save the file, and then what, copy the file. Now go to the group policy management tool, and under the policy where you want to display the message, select the policy for editing and go to, let's say I will go to user configuration. So I will go to users Windows setting, and here we have log on and log off scripts. So we'll select the log on script. That means whenever the user log in, so it will see the message. So I will edit this policy. Now first what you will do, you will select the show files. Now here this is the logon scripts path. If you see, the path is under the sysworld folder. So whatever the logon scripts we are going to run, it is going to store into the sysworld folder. So first we have copy the file, so we will paste it here. This is where all the scripts will locate it, and whenever the user log in, it will get the script from this path. It is the share path. So first select the show files, and then paste the file, paste the script there, and then here you will add the name for that file. Now when you select add and browse, it will directly go to that location, and you will see the file. It will go directly to that location, that share location, and then you have to select the file, and it will display the name. If your script has any parameters, then you can add the parameters also here. Our script does not have any parameter, it is only having the message, so I will not add any parameters. And then what, you will press apply or OK. Now this is going to be displayed whenever the user logged in, and the users of this Mumbai OU. Now we'll check it from the client side. So from the client side, first what we'll do, we will update the policy. So GP update the policy, and because of the folder redirection policy, it will again say you have to log out. Yes. Now again I am logging in as a user 1, which is a member which is under the Mumbai OU. So I will log in as this user. Now as we log in, you can see the message is appearing here, that it is saying this is a test, script test. So when the user logged in, it sees the script is executed, and it is only displaying the message here, but we can add anything on the script that what we want to do. This is just a message we have added. So this is how we can do, we can configure the script for the users, like when the user log in or log out. We can also configure the script for the machine to be shut down or run, start. So whenever the system shut down or start, it will display it will run the script, or when the user log in or log out, it will run the script. Then configuring the group policy preferences. Now we have the preferences also. Under the group policy we have policies, and now we have preferences also. These group policy preferences existence expand the range of configurable setting within a GPU. This enables you to manage settings that were previously not manageable by group or by using the group policy. So actually previously we had only policies, we don't have the preferences, but now we have preferences available which can use to configure more settings which is not possible to configure by using the group policy. So it is are supported natively on Windows Server 8 2008 and newer, and Windows Vista Service Pack 2 and newer. So it is only supported in servers Windows Server 2008 and after that, and also after the Windows Vista Service Pack 2. It was previously not available. It can be created, deleted, replaced or updated, and category include mapping drives. We can do mapping drive, we can create shortcuts, we can do the registry changes, we can use the power options, we can do the schedule task, and also we can configure the Internet Explorer settings also. These are all available in the group policy preferences. Now what is the group policy settings and preferences? What is the difference between this? First, strictly enforce policy setting by writing the settings to areas of the registry that standard users cannot modify. So when you change the group policy settings, it actually modifies the registry, and normal users cannot have access of registry, only administrators have. Then group policy preferences do what? It is written to the normal location and in the registry that the application or operating system features uses to store the settings. So it actually store into the normal settings, normal location. Then typically disable the user's interface for setting that group policy is managing. So this group policy setting which do what? It typically disable the user interface for setting that group policy is managing. But in this, do not cause the application or operating system feature to disable the user interface for setting they configure. So whatever the setting they configure, they can still be configured. It is in group policy setting, it will actually disable the settings. Now refresh policy settings at a regular interval. So at a regular interval, the group policy settings are refreshed, and the preferences, this refresh the preferences by using the same interval as the group policy settings by default, but can be configured to apply only once. We can change the preference refresh once only. And the features of group policy preference, we have two tabs like general tab where configure the most settings. Look out for red dotted lines if it is there, that means these are important things. And the settings not enable, use F6 to enable it, and if it is not enabling, then you can select the F8 to enable it. Then you have the common tab. In the common tab, it is the configure additional options that control the behavior of a group policy preference item. In the group policy preference, we have different items. When you go to the properties, you can see multiple settings like this. Under the general, you will see most of the settings. You have to look for the dotted lines, that is important. And in a common tab, you have additional settings. Now item level targeting option, it is also available that we can restrict the specific setting based on some specific item level, like redirect the drive mapping to an Active Directory security group. Like for example, we can create the drive mapping and we can create based on the Active Directory security group. We can configure the different power plans to portable and desktop computers. We can deploy the printers only to a computers that meet the specific criteria, and to users that are member of a specific group. We can copy the Microsoft Office templates based on the language on the operating system install the computer, and we can see these options here. These are the item level targeting options. We can use these different options to filter out the policies that we want to apply. Like I will show you one. We'll go to edit the policies. Now when you go to edit the policy, you see in computer configuration and also in user configuration, previously we had only policies, but now we have these preferences option, and under the preference option, this is under the computer configuration. We can see we have the preference. Under the preference, we have Windows setting, control panel settings, and for same as for users also. They have different settings, like when you go to computer setting, you have all these options, like you can set the environment variables, you can redirect the files, folders, init files, registry, you can modify the registry, network shares, shortcuts you can create. Then on the control panel, you can modify the control panel settings, like you can data source, you can devices, you can change the devices, folder options, users and group, local users and group options are also there, power management, you can change the power plans. Then for the user configurations, we have these Windows settings, where we have option to for applications, drive maps, and different many options are available. For the control panel also we have different many options available. Now for example, I want to set a map drive for the users. So what I will do, I will select the drive mapping for the user. So it shows like this here. Now when you right click here and you say okay, I want to map the new drive, so it will give you the option that what you want to do, you want to update or you want to create. So I want to create it. Now here it is asking that where is the drive, which location you have. So you have to give the share location of the share folder which we have. Like for example, we have a share folder here. Let me use this VM share, or I will use this software share. And then I will mention the share path here. You can even browse it also. Now it is saying reconnect. You want to do the reconnect. You can set the label for it. You can set the drive letter for it. For example, I will set F. Then any other options. You have two tabs here, general and common. In common you have other options like the extra options like stop processing item in this extension, if an error occurs, run in lockdown users security context, remove this item when it is no longer applied, apply once and do not reapply. Or you can do select the item level targeting. You can select this and you can select the targeting here, that which item level you want to do the targeting. You select new item. So based on the item we can select based on the different item like CPU, speed, computer name, battery percentage. We can apply this specific policy. So I just want to apply the drive mapping. So I select this and I have applied on this. So when you logged in, when you see I will logged in as a user, I will first update the policy here. Now it is saying restart. I say okay, re-login. So I say yes. Now I will log in again. The re-login is only because of this folder redirection policy we have configured. Okay, after login again we see the message because we have configured the message. We have run the script and we have configured the folder redirection also. Now we'll go to our this PC and here we see the drive mapping also. So this drive mapping we have configured from the group policy preferences. So this is also configured. We have folder redirection also. It is also working. You can see the document folder is also redirecting, and the script we have also seen the script when the user logs in. This is configuring folder redirection, software installation, and also running scripts by using the group policy object.